Good morning and welcome to Cincy Lifestyle. Thank you for joining us this morning. Mona, they got the new Winter Open on. I just want to remind you I was cold that day.
Clyde, I've never seen someone hop up so quickly from a metal seat in my life. You jumped up.
Everything back there was cold, let me tell you. Mona, I know that you and I have talked on the air before about troubles getting to sleep. And I know that for a lot of people right now in the midst of the coronavirus, COVID, all of that sort of stuff and all of the associated concerns, sometimes getting to sleep ain't easy these days. So when I saw an article in HuffPost.com that said 9 things sleep doctors would never do at night before going to bed, I thought, aha, I can at the very least help my buddy Mona. So
thank you very much.
Well, I'm on your side, as we used to say. So here are some of the 9 things they said. And the first one, now, news department, don't get mad at me. These were the doctors that said this, not me. But they said that they don't watch the news unless it's on Channel 9.
Okay, all right, that's very good.
And that's the news they like to watch. They also say they avoid working in bed. You know, the kind of thing where you take your notebook and pencil and paper and stuff like that and get work done. They say don't do that. Also, Mona, don't work out before you go to bed. That's just not smart.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that would make you more tired and you'd want to sleep heavier, but I guess not.
No, it actually kind of amps your body up. It sometimes helps release some of those happy endorphins, which keep you kind of pumped up and active and alert. They also say, and this I agree with fully, steer clear of tense conversations. Don't argue before you go to bed. Decide you want to argue in the morning when you wake up, and that'll get your day going.
Wow, what about married couples? That seems like that may not be avoidable. See, with married couples, right?
And they're saying make it avoidable.
Well, you're just going to be up, right?
Right,
okay.
Well, yeah, but they're saying avoid it. Don't consume caffeine before you go to bed. Also, don't consume alcohol, which some people think is okay because it suppresses, but no, it doesn't. Don't use electronic devices without a blue light filter. Well, everybody ought to know that by now, but a lot of people don't do it. Don't keep the lights in your home turned up really bright before bedtime. That makes sense. And they say make sure you don't spend a long time awake in bed. So there you go.
You know, that's a challenge for me, Clyde. When I can't sleep, and lately I have not been sleeping, and I won't go into this long explanation as why, but I'll just say I've been having some flashbacks. Okay, so I've been having trouble sleeping, and but I lay there until I fall asleep. But I hear them saying don't. I guess you have to get up and do other things and then eventually go back to bed.
Either that or just not make the bed a place where you hang out for all kinds of things. Just make it the place where you go when it's time to sleep. So, you know.
All right.
Hopefully
good tips on getting some good sleep and relaxation.
Yes, indeed. And you know, of course, right now, I bet pretty much all of us could use some relaxation. These days, our travel opportunities in particular have been much more restricted. Day or weekend trips seem to be the new trend. So if you're looking for the chance to get away from it all, you might want to think about a classic bed and breakfast. Allie took a one-tank trip to Clover Bottom Bed and Breakfast in McKee, Kentucky to see how they are serving up some R&R.
We have reached Clover Bottom Bed and Breakfast. It's about 2 hours from downtown Cincinnati. It's right behind me, and we are in the rolling hills of Kentucky. So looking forward to this. Let's go check it out.
The Bed and Breakfast. It's not your average hotel or lodging stay. It's an experience when hospitality meets the act of mutuality.
You want to adjust your temperature? Okay. Just keep tapping this.
Yeah. A time when guests embrace the surrounding community, architecture, and the opportunity to build relationships with innkeepers. Bed and breakfasts are made to feel like home.
Our whole deal here was to make you feel like you're coming to visit us, you know, and we give you the space that you want, and also be able to enjoy the outdoor scene here, you know, from hiking trails to waterfalls, to natural arches, Red River Gorge, waterfalls all over, Cumberland Falls. So there's tons of things you can do, and you can stay here and drive back and forth.
Greg even offers an ATV ride to explore Clover Bottom's surrounding hillsides.
Horses ahead.
It's also recommended to ask questions. Greg's knowledge of the area is quite enlightening.
So on a little bit of a hike, a little bit of a walk, and it's interesting because just dropping a couple feet, we're by this cave, and what, 10 degrees? Not, what'd you say? How many? At least 10 degrees cooler. So cool.
B&Bs like Clover Bottom are a natural escape to the scenic outdoors. And when it's really time to wind down, the stay consists of 4-room options, a large outdoor gathering space with a hot tub that welcomes those country views, complimentary robes and slippers, freshly baked cookies, a full coffee, hot chocolate, and sweet arrangement, and so much more.
Homemade treats.
What's also unique to Clover Bottom is the artwork displayed throughout the home. Greg himself is a bit of a painter and craftsman, and what better way to showcase the work than at a bed and breakfast to new guests every week? But let's not forget, it's also called a bed and breakfast for a reason. In the morning, Redith makes a beautiful spread to be enjoyed at one's leisure. And all in all, places like this are a time to reconnect with oneself. And who knows, maybe discover new friendships along the way.
Let's check in now with Allie, and I got to tell you, I'm sitting there looking at that thinking, boy, that view across that pasture is great. So how did you find this place?
So I actually was tipped off, shout out to my friend Allison, about this bed and breakfast. Now, it's also an Airbnb, so if you're looking into bed and breakfast in general, Airbnb is a great place to go. And this was the first time that I'd ever actually stayed at a bed and breakfast. You know, I've done the hotel scene, I've done the Airbnbs in New York, but it's a very different vibe. And I have to admit, I really, really enjoyed it. I think the number one question I've been getting asked is, what does that look like with the hosts being there? And, you know, a lot of people say, I'm not really sure if I would like that. But as someone who loves to build relationships and learn about people and learn about the community that they live in, I thought it was such a wonderful way to lodge and stay. And Greg and Rita, they were tremendous. You know, they give you this space that you want, but if you want to go for an ATV ride, you could go for an ATV ride. And he's from the area, so it's the Appalachia area. So, you know, really diving into the hillsides and kind of into the mountains, he was able to explain a lot of the history and where certain people lived at one point in time. And if there was an abandoned home there, he could explain why. And if people were building a new cabin, he could explain why. And the scenery was just beautiful, and it was very peaceful. And it was nice to get away for a little bit in the time that we're in right now and have that space.
Well, Allie, you know what? It looks like it's a little bit off the beaten path, but I love a good bed and breakfast. But were there towns or communities nearby where you could get something to eat?
That's a really good question, because obviously bed and breakfast, as I said, you get the breakfast, but what happens with lunch and dinner? There is a nearby town called Berea. And my friend Tiff and I, we were able to stop in and grab a bite to eat at a place called Papalino's, and there's a little fudge shop, and it's not a big town by any means, and it's actually quite a bit of an arts town, which is cool, and there's, I believe, a liberal arts college there, and that's a great place to kind of stop in. And if you're looking to stay at a place like Clover Bottom, here's a little bit of a tip. The county that Clover Bottom is in is actually a dry county. Now, the county that Berea is in is
Allie
not.
would know that.
Well, it's kind of important, though, because if you're going to relax, you want to open a bottle of champagne in the hot tub or whatever, drink a glass of wine.
Got it.
Make sure you bring that with you. But if you are getting away into those types of towns, that's something to ask and look into, which I didn't think about beforehand, but we were tipped off on that. So little things like that.
All right, Allie, great as always.
Thank you.
With so many people glued to their computers these days, it's more important than ever to get outside and learn about our community and nature. And there's a local online show that's helping with that. It's called Science Around Cincy. And I want to welcome my guest, Chris Anderson, the host of the online show, Science Around Cincy. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. Again, we love it when you're on the show.
Hey, thanks, Mona, for having me back. It's always great to talk to you guys.
Okay, well, one of your recent episodes we heard talked about something called the Edge of the Farm project. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so this is actually a project that's near and dear to my heart. These are a couple professors I actually had when I was a college student years ago, and they have converted about 40 acres of farmland back into natural habitat. So we're talking shortgrass prairies and wetlands. So a lot of these habitats used to exist all over Ohio hundreds of years ago. We've since converted a lot of that into cities and neighborhoods and farms, and so they've taken about 40 acres of that and converted it back into its natural habitat. And it's really cool because all these birds and insects and amphibians and coyotes and all these living things have now kind of come back to that area because now they have a home for themselves.
All right, so tell us, what did you learn about those prairies and wetlands, and what can we learn from that?
Well, those habitats do a lot of really important things for not just other living things. Like we said, it creates a habitat for all sorts of living things, but it does a lot of things for humans too. Because, for example, wetlands, they filter a lot of our water, and it takes out a lot of the excess nutrients that can get into places like the Ohio River or even the Gulf of Mexico. And that's really important because it makes those waterways healthier. Because what happens is all that fertilizer from farms tends to run off into these larger water systems, like I said, like the Ohio River, and it causes these algae blooms and can kill a lot of fish. So those wetlands kind of take those nutrients out and filter that water and make it cleaner. In prairies, because they have a lot of dense plant life there, it tends to take the carbon out of the atmosphere, which we know is really important right now because we have so much extra carbon dioxide in our atmosphere due to the burning of fossil fuels. So these are really important ecosystems for us to take care of.
Well, I learned so much from you, Chris. So what's your next science adventure going to be?
Well, this week we are releasing our episode where we went to 80 Acre Farms, which is really, really cool because they use robots and renewable energy to do indoor farming, and they're actually able to do multiple times the amount of food that they can grow inside these facilities than a conventional farm. And it's really, really neat what they're able to do. They're mostly doing like lettuce and tomatoes right now, but they're expanding to all sorts of other vegetables. And it's a really cool episode. So look for that. The main episode will be out tomorrow.
All right. So tell people where they can see that episode.
Well, you can check out all our episodes and special features on our YouTube channel. And we post all sorts of updates on Instagram at SciAroundCincy. And if you're a teacher or an informal educator or a parent who's looking to do cool stuff with their kids at home, check out our website, SciAroundCincy.com, because we have all our videos and all sorts of like instructional resources so you can take what you're watching on the video and connect it to what kids need to learn.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for talking to us again.
Thanks a lot, Mona. I'll be back anytime.
New joke here. How big is Clyde's head? Coming up on Cincy Lifestyle, checking in on Mom and Dad. The holidays are great for small family gatherings and for checking up on older family members. We'll talk about some red flags to look for and how to have a tough conversation. All that whole lot more the other side of the break. It can be hard to tell how your senior parents really doing at home when you're not able to spend a lot of time with them. It's one thing to talk on the phone or perhaps a video chat, but going home for the holidays gives you a chance to check in on their well-being while you catch up with everyone. We're going now to explore that very issue more with Mary Underwood, the Vice President of Memory Care Services at Artis Senior Living. Mary, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, Clyde.
So what are a few subtle and not so subtle signs that your parents might need some extra help?
Well, I think people know the obvious signs, the repeating themselves, the forgetting names, but there's a lot of earlier signs that often occur. When you're at your parents' house, it's things like, is the mail stacking up? Are there newspapers lying around? Because often that's a sign of having trouble keeping track of the date and the time and the events that are happening. Check the refrigerator, check the dates on the food, and even things like, are there notes left all over the house as reminders? Subtle ways that the person is trying to compensate for their losses. Are there late notices? Check the checkbook. Again, all those things that are behind the scenes that they're holding on to compensate for, I would say to definitely look for.
So what should you do if your loved ones do need help?
I think the first step, and it's the step often families are reluctant to take, it's to actually have a conversation with the person. Because if you're noticing things, there's a very good possibility that they also are aware and are really holding on and struggling. So, sit down and just say, hey, Mom, I'm worried about you. Or, I've noticed some things. Have you noticed anything? Don't make it about, Mom, you're not taking your meds, you're not doing this, you're having trouble, but make it about, I'm worried about you, I'm concerned, what have you seen? And oftentimes the person will openly admit that, yeah, there are some struggles going on. That way, whatever is down the road, you're in it together. It's not a you versus them type of scenario. So step one is to talk to your loved one. And then step two is just find out what's out there, find out the resources, and absolutely get an accurate diagnosis, because there's a lot of things that can cause some cognitive changes in our seniors.
And what if your loved one is no longer safe at home alone?
If they're not safe, it no longer becomes a discussion for them to have to give you permission. But it doesn't mean they can't be part of the conversation. It is saying, you know what, Mom, we need to get help in here. Do you want a male or a female caregiver? Do you want to live at home, or do you want to look at other options somewhere? You can't give them the option of, do you want help or not, if they're not safe. But again, it doesn't mean they can't have some say and some choices. And families will often say, my mom's going to be mad, my mom's going to hate me. Your mom or dad being safe really does take the number one priority. But when you include them, again, you're in a partnership and not a you versus them type of scenario.
If people want more information, how can they connect with Artis Senior Living?
Well, they can call us if they're interested in Artis, if it's an option or not. Our team has so many resources. So if you need an elder law attorney, if you want some direction in home care, or if you want to pursue Artis as an option, simply give us a call at 513-409-0208, and we will be more than happy to help and point you in the right direction.
Mary, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Imagine this, looking younger in just a matter of minutes. All those bags and crow's feet, dark circles that make you look older, gone. Too good to be true? Not necessarily. And today we're going to talk about Plexaderm and its low price just in time for Thanksgiving. And to help us out with this, I want to welcome our good friend, Tia Leslie. Tia, can you share with us some of the inside info about Plexaderm?
Yes, I can. Yes. So, Mona, this is an amazing product. This is called Plexaderm. So the people at Plexaderm really wanted to make it affordable for everyone these days, because as you know, looking good can really boost one's confidence. And I think we could all use a little bit more of that these days, right? So you can use Plexaderm 7 days a week, or you can use it as a quick pick-me-up. But the more that I travel and the more that I talk to our Plexaderm customers, I'm finding that they're using it 4, 5, 6, even 7 days a week, because they really like the result that they're getting. So this is how it works. If you have any visual signs of aging popping up, you've got bags coming in underneath the eye, those are really hard to get rid of, I know. Crow's feet, the 11s, we're all squinting on Zoom and Skype and our phones. I know I'm guilty of it daily. Plexaderm can drastically reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles within 10 minutes, because unlike any other product on the market, it only takes Plexaderm 10 minutes to where you'll see a complete transformation. So this is how I would use it. I'd get up in the morning, apply it to clean, dry skin. And then 2 things. It goes on clear, so this works beautifully for both women and men, keep that in mind, and you really only need about a half a pea size. Leave that on for 10 minutes. It only takes about 10 minutes to set, but once you come back and take a look in the mirror, I think you're really going to be astounded by the results. People can't get over within 1 application the result that they're getting. Reporters are using this now, people in front of the camera. We've got actors and actresses are using this on set for film and TV. But what I really love about it is that you can get that same result now, all from the comfort of your own home. So if you're using something currently that is not working for you, this is the product to get.
All right, we've got to get in the 10-minute challenge. Tell us about that.
Yes. So if you're skeptical, maybe you're on a budget, this is a great way to try Plexaderm if you've seen it on social media and commercials. Right now, $14.95 plus free shipping. And I love this, Mona, actually, because you can actually try the product before going in on a full bottle. One-time fee, no subscription, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is what you'll receive. 6 different applications. So think of it as 6 different days you can try the product out. Take the 10-minute Plexaderm challenge at home for yourself. See what a difference it can make for you. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, like taking years off of your appearance.
All right, so tell us how people can get Plexaderm.
Yes, so call the number on your screen right now or plexadermtrial.com. Again, if you're using something currently that is not working for you, this product is amazing.
All right, Tia, thank you so much. We appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Cincy Lifestyle after the break. Same thing on Instagram. We're going to post behind-the-scenes pictures from here on the set. And while we're safely out in the community, follow us on Instagram at Cincy Lifestyle. Chilly pattern for the next couple of days. Highest today be in the mid-40s with some clouds out there, but will also be windy and gusty at times, Mona.
All right, thank you, Clyde. I hope people get out and chance. You can put on a coat and still go walking outside, so you can do that. Reach out to us. Hey, let us know a cure you have for sleepless nights. And share it with us so we can use that cure. And we thank you for watching today. We'll see you tomorrow. Make today a great day.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, make it a great day.